All right, let's talk about something that trips up so many investors when they're starting out: dividend yield. It seems so simple on the surface, but really understanding it boils down to answering one single powerful question about your investments.
And that's the question right there. It just cuts through all the noise. So much of investing is about guessing what a company might be worth way off in the future. But this question, it shifts our focus to something you can feel right now: the actual cash a company puts in your pocket just for being an owner. Okay, so let's dive straight into what I like to call the high yield trap, because dividend yield sounds so easy, it's exactly where a ton of people make their first big mistake. You see a big juicy percentage and you think, wow, that's a no-brainer. But the reality? Oh, it's way more complicated than that.
These are the classic myths. The idea that bigger is always better. The belief that a dividend is some kind of unbreakable promise. Or, thinking that if a company isn't paying you cash, it's not doing its job. Our mission today is to tear down these misconceptions and give you a much smarter way to look at this whole thing.
This really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, it feels like it should be true, but as we're about to see, the answer is a big, flashing not necessarily. And understanding why is the secret to using this metric like a pro.
And here we go. This is the aha moment. Let's completely reframe how we think about this. I want you to burn this one simple phrase into your brain, because it cuts through everything. Let's call it cash rent from ownership.
Just think of it like that. You own a tiny piece of a business, like a tiny piece of a property, and the dividend is the rent that business pays you for your ownership. What's so powerful about this idea is that it neatly separates the two parts of your investment. There's the income you get, and then there's whatever the stock price is doing on any given day. They are not the same thing.
Let's make this super concrete. Say you own a share that costs $100. And over the year, that company pays you a total of $5 in dividends. Boom, you've got a 5% yield. It's that simple. It's the cash you received compared to the price you paid.
And if you want to see the math, here it is. It's dead simple. You just take the total dividend for the whole year for one share, and you divide it by whatever the share price is right now. That's it. It's just a quick little ratio that connects the cash payout to the market's price tag.
But here's the thing. That percentage? It's just a number. It's the beginning of your investigation, not the end. The really important stuff is what's going on behind that number. Let me show you what I mean with a quick example. Okay, take a look at this tale of two companies. You've got Reliable Power with a nice, fat 5% yield, and then there's Growth Nest with only 2%. Now, the beginner investor jumps straight for the 5%, right? But hang on a second. What if that 5% is only high because the company's stock price has been tanking, which could be a huge red flag? And what if Growth Nest is actually growing like crazy and reinvesting its cash to get even bigger? All of a sudden, that 5% doesn't look so simple anymore.
And this is the absolute key takeaway. A yield can get bigger for two totally different reasons. One, the company is healthy and decides to pay out more cash. That's great. Or two, the stock price is falling apart while the dividend payment stays the same. And that, my friends, is often a massive warning sign.
So that's the real puzzle, isn't it? How do you tell the difference between a genuinely generous, healthy company and one that's actually a sinking ship in disguise? Well, you have to look under the hood, because that percentage number alone will not tell you the full story.
This right here, this is the golden rule. A dividend isn't some kind of magic money that appears out of thin air. It's a slice of a company's real profits and its real cash. So if the business itself is weak, that dividend is built on a foundation of sand.
So you got to play detective. You have to start asking more questions. Is this company actually making money? Is it generating real hard cash? Or is it drowning in debt? Is it actually any good at using its money to make more money? A healthy, sustainable dividend will have good answers to all of these questions. Okay, so let's put this all together. Think of this as your new investor lens. From now on, you're not going to see dividend yield as just a number to chase. You're going to see it as a clue, a starting point that helps you ask much, much smarter questions. So here's your new game plan. It's a simple 5-step process. First, find the numbers. Second, do that quick bit of math. And then, step 3, you immediately start digging. Is this payout supported by the business? Step 4, you look for red flags like weakness or a mountain of debt. And finally, step 5, you remember to judge that yield as just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. And this is the final critical piece of that puzzle. A 5% dividend is awesome, but not if your stock price drops by 20% in the same year. The thing that truly matters is your total return. And that's the income you get from the dividend, plus or minus whatever happens to the stock's price.
The dividend is only half the story.
So, I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. The next time you see some big, flashy, high double-digit dividend yield, you'll know not to just take it at face value. You'll know to stop and ask why. Why is it so high? And that right there is the first step toward making a much smarter investment.